Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a brand new season here in PSGL. Here for season 34, we are getting underway for round number one of the F6 tier on PlayStation. My name is Everybody Mike, going to be taking you through the action as your lead commentator, and joining me alongside in the commentary box is Mr. RDR Quinn. How are you doing, Quinn?
Yeah, I'm doing really good. I'm really excited to get this first race of the season underway here in F6 and of course on the new game. So it's going to be interesting to see how strategies have changed and what this race can bring to us. It looks like it's clear conditions for qualifying, but we'll have to see what the race brings us in terms of weather.
Yeah, absolutely. As we got the first set of drivers coming out of the pit lane now, and obviously, what a track to go racing at for the opening round of the championship. The Autodromo Jose Carlos Apache here for the Brazilian Grand Prix. And who have we got first out on track? I believe it's one of the Alpines, and I believe that is JR King.
So yeah, we've got. It is quite a very interesting track. You've got a lot of elevation changes, especially through these center S's and the final, well, real corner. You basically go up, or go down the hill, and then up the hill in the space of, what, I can't remember exactly how many corners there are. I think there's
It's 15 technically.
Yeah,
15.
15 technically, but we only count 14 of them because about 3 of them are kinks.
Yeah, so we'll go on board with JR King for a flying lap around the Autodromo Jose Carlos Apache here as we climb up the hill, full throttle, open DRS, and he'll be getting his lap underway as we approach the braking zone towards turn number 1. The beginning of the center S is very crucial to get this right and to not lose traction there on the inside curve of turn 1, but very good there from King as we go through the Curva del Sol. DRS wide open now on the run down in towards turn number 4, as is fifth gear, the gear of choice there for King. And as we climb up the hill towards Ferrajula, a bit of traffic in the way, and he's doing well to avoid it so far is King, as we now come into the meaty part of the middle sector where it is so easy to lose time compared to your competitors out there on track as we climb up the hill once again in towards turn number 10, third gear for King, through the left-hander now in towards Junshao as we climb up the hill once again. Another car getting out of the way of King, and to the line he will come now, and we wonder what the first lap time will be of the new season. Is going to be JR King with a 1 minute 7.9. Good banger there from King.
Yeah, very solid lap, and I was just looking at Jerome, who had invalidated his lap, but it would have been a 108.1, so it would have been just about a tenth behind. So it was a very good, very solid banker lap there from King. And we're going to have an Alfa Romeo, I think, coming across. There's Yano just crossed the line. Got another one, Tactician, but Fleddy goes nearly 2 tenths quicker than King there. Lifeboat puts himself in between the two in the sister Red Bull, but then Alex Marciano comes in with a 7.6.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you what are you predicting in terms of a pole time, because I was predicting that we may see a 7.5, but they're pretty much on it already, and that's just the bangers that are coming in at the moment. As I'm on board with PGS Stretch, as he is in the middle sector, coming through Junshao now as he climbs up the hill, and he does have a car ahead of him. I think he's just a little bit too far back to get a tow there, but to the line he'll come, and it's going to be a 7.9 for PGS Stretch, and up into P4 for the time being.
Yeah, Miguel just crossed the line and put himself in P6 with a 108.1. We have the 2 Alpha, or 1 Alpha Romeo coming through. Now his tactician again moves himself up 1 spot to P10. We do have a McLaren, which is Scotty, who's on his outlap, so he's just going to be starting his lap. I'll stick on board with him through first part of the CNRS's, misses the apex slightly, all over the curb on the second part, rides the curb round Curva del Sol. It's quite decent through those first 3 corners. You want to go down to 5th gear, I believe. He goes down to 4th here, try carry momentum and he invalidates there.
Yeah, I just jumped on board at the end of that as I was on board with Daniel as he crossed the line, pops himself up into P4. Scotty, as you mentioned, they're going through turn 4, just running a bit too far wide on the exit and invalidating that lap.
Yeah, so as it stands, we've got Alex in P1, Fleddy in P2, Lifebound in P3, Daniel in P4, PGS Stretch in P5, King in P6, Miguel in P7, Aldo in 8th, Yanil in 9th, Liam rounding off the top 10, then we have Tactician in 11th and Mitwi in 12th. The rest of them have not set lap time so far.
No, as Soapbox has just actually come onto a flying lap. We just come on board with him as he just began it. As he comes through the Curva del Sol, now DRS wide open on the run down in towards turn 4. Hopefully this time we won't see an invalidation here. It'll all be within track limits, and yes, he does keep it within the track limits, does Soapbox, as we head up towards Ferradura for the double right-hander. And very easy to drift out wide here as well, especially in terms of the race. We could be seeing a few track limit warnings being picked up there.
Yeah, we can also be seeing a couple of 2, maybe 3 wide moments through that corner, because that's probably one of the widest the track is. Apart from the pit straight, yeah, it's going to be one of the widest points of the track, so you can definitely see multiple cars trying to go through there at the same time, but 9 times out of 10 it doesn't work, because we see Soapbox coming up to the line. It is P9 with a 108.167.
Yeah, to everyone on the stream, I apologise for the random soft tyre that is in the middle of turn 1. It is something that I'm seeing, and it is a bit of an unusual thing to be seeing, just a random soft tyre.
I think at the start of the session, Aiden crashed into the wall coming out of the pits. Well, literally, instead of turning left, he just went straight on into the wall, and yeah, I think that's from his crash coming out of the pits.
Well, it's unfortunate for Eden. He'll have a lot of work to do in the race, but on board with Jerome now, currently down in P16 without a lap time to his name, and he's coming up to the line. He's going to try and get himself up the order, and we're going to see what he's going to do, and it's a 7.8 up into P4 for Jerome.
Yeah, very good lap there from Jerome. Going to hop on board with his teammate Aguado as he's just coming through sector 2 now. Just going to see how he goes through into Zheng Chao. Missed the apex just a little bit there, but tries to straighten up his car as much as he can. Not scrub enough speed by turning. Turn as little as you can. Hug the inside. It's the 7.7 moves him up into P2, so Williams looking strong at the moment, as well as the Alpines.
Yep, up onto the front row for Aguado as he joins Alex, and Alex improves on his time, and it's a 7.5 for Alex, so he goes a little bit faster. I just went on board with him as he crossed the line, so we just missed the end of that lap. I believe Lifeboat has just started a lap, so we'll stay on board with him. Currently down in P5, looking to get himself up the order. Takes a little bit of slipstream first sector, and he's 400ths of a second down on his previous lap time.
Yeah, I was just on board with Owen Moore there as he crossed the line, and he's only 0.03 of a second behind PGS Stretch. So it's going to be a quite close battle. It's only, well, between first to, well, it's only about a second, just over a second, separating all of the people who set times. So if this is an indicator for the rest of the season, then I'm more than happy. It's going to be an excellent season if there's only 1 second separating the grid.
Yeah, and I 100% echo that sentiment there. Lifeboat, he is 600ths of a second down on his previous lap time, and he does come into the pits. He does bail out of it. Scotty currently down in P6. He has just finished a lap, I believe, as we got Daniel about to start a lap. Now he's in P10 in the Mercedes. Obviously his teammate Miguel down there in P14. Mercedes need to get themselves up the grid a little bit. It's unusual seeing the Mercedes down in the midfield.
Well, yeah, it definitely is, but Miguel's just coming round the final few corners here, so just going to see if there's any sort of improvement for him as he comes into the pits. So wasn't really happy with that lap, and going to hop on board with Liam as he is only P6 at the moment, well, P16, sorry. We have I believe that is Scotty. He's coming into the pits. We have a Ferrari as well, which is Compora. I think he may just be starting a lap.
Daniel a 10th up on his lap time. This will get him up the order a fair bit as he crosses the line. And it's going to be P5, 107.833. And look how tight it is from P2 down to P13. You know, just over 2 tenths between them.
Yeah, even P2 down to 18th, it's about 8 tenths, just under 8 tenths between them. If you go to first, it's just under a second. But yeah, I'm just on board with Compora now as he's coming through Sector 2, coming into Sector 3 now. He is the only driver still on track that hasn't set a lap time yet. Of course, Aiden did retire early on in the session. Looks like there is a Williams who's going to be giving Compora a little bit of a slipstream, but he decides not to take it. That's very interesting from Compora, but second place. If he had taken it, it would be a little bit closer to Alex, but a cracking lap time there from Compora.
Yeah, Compora with a fantastic lap time, gets himself onto the front row alongside Alex. We got Aguado just starting a lap. He's currently down in P3, going to be looking to get back onto the front row. Fleddy on a invalid lap, so I believe he'll be saving up his battery to go again if he does have the fuel to go for another run. Jerome out there on a lap as well. We'll see what he can do in the middle sector split.
Yeah, it takes a little bit wide, gets a little bit of oversteer in that corner, so that's not going to do him any good, and he's about a 10th down on his time, so he might be better off abandoning the lap and strapping on a new set of softs and go again, as it might be what he's doing. Yeah, he is. He's coming into the pit strapping on a new set of softs. Let's hop on board with, I believe, Fleddy's invalidated. Gonna have a look at Aguado, who's coming up to the line. He is gonna go to the line. Is it an improvement from Aguado? It is, but it's not enough to move him up.
No, unfortunately not. Aguado improves his lap time, but does not improve his position. Still in P3. And now it's about saving as much battery as possible. He might have enough time to potentially get himself around to get into the pits to come back out. It'll be very close, I think.
That's unfortunate from Mitwi as he just invalidated going through the second sector, so he might be another one who's going to come into the pits. Once again, we have Owen Moore on an out lap, who's going to be the first person to set the final laps
We
here.
got Freddie on a lap at the moment. He's currently over a tenth and a half up on his lap time. This could be a front row. This could be threatening Alex's lap time for provisional pole position as he comes towards the line now. What can Fleddy do as he crosses the line? And it's provisional pole position for JR Fleddy in the Red Bull.
Yeah, great lap there from Fleddy. Really hooked up the final sector there. It's basically that one turn right at Jun Chao. Literally that one corner you need to get absolutely perfect. And clearly he got it as good as he could because he's sitting on the front row. And more importantly, provisional pole position. Yes, we do have JR King, who's 1.5 tenths up on his time, and that can see him make a huge jump up into P5. So I'm going to stick on board with King as he's just coming up to the line. What will it be for King? Will it be enough of an improvement? P5, only 4/100ths of a second behind Aguado. But we see an all-Williams third row here. Well, all-Alpine third row here, sorry.
Yep, the Alpines line the stern in 5th and 6th. King improving his lap time. Daniel, I believe, going for another run. Oh, big snap of oversteer there through the center S's, and Daniel now will back out of that lap. Does have just over a minute and a half, so he will be able to get around to get another lap in if he has the fuel for it. As I believe, tried to go on board with someone about to start a lap. I believe we've got an Aston Martin coming to the line now, and that is Liam. So we'll stay on board with Liam for the time being. And we'll see what the Aston Martin can do.
Yeah, Fleddy's retired in the pits. That's as much as he can do to influence this session. We might see a Sergio Perez here where he just drops down the order, but we'll have to see. Yep, yeah, on board with Liam now. Sorry, you go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say absolutely, and we'll see once he's done with his laps and that, there's nothing he can do but look and see what everyone else is doing. And Liam right now marginally up in sector 1, needs to find quite a bit of time here in sector 2 and 3 if he wants to be jumping himself up in towards the top 10, currently down in 18th. As we look at this middle sector split, a little bit of traffic ahead, and he's just under 4 tenths up on his lap time, but Liam will come to the line. This will be an improvement, and it could jump him very well into the top 10 here.
Yeah, definitely can. 4 tenths will move him up to P6. It was a 5/10 improvement from Liam, and from 18th to P6 is very, very good, but he's still one of the first people to set a remaining lap time.
Yes, the checker flag is out. We're going to stay on board with Alex in the final sector, and he's over a tenth down on his lap time, so unless he can get a massive run out of the final proper corner of Jun Chao to the line he'll come. I don't think it's going to be an improvement unless he's got a monstrous run, but to the line Alex will come, and it's not an improvement.
Not enough, and Kompora has invalidated his lap. Yanil come up into P4. Aguado is invalidated. Liam just finished his lap. Aldo is going to be the next person to cross the line. I didn't quite see his sector split going into sector 3. He does have Scotty coming up behind him as well. So Aldo is not an improvement. Scotty moves himself up into P6. And then we've got Owen Moore as well, who's on an invalidated lap. And that's qualifying.
Yeah, so Fleddy takes the first pole position of the season. Fantastic stuff there from him, and a 7.5 as well. And I believe
exactly what you predicted.
Pat myself on the back for that one.
Yeah, gold star for you.
Yes, but Yeah, that brings an
Okay.
end to qualifying. Fleddy takes pole position with Alex joining him on the front row, and that's going to be an interesting battle in the opening laps between these two, because their qualifying lap times are so evenly matched here. It's going to be very intriguing to see these two going side by side in towards turn 1 on lap 1.
Yeah, but something a famous, well, certain someone has said, it's one thing to catch someone, it's another thing to overtake them. And also, qualifying pace doesn't necessarily relate to race pace, so it's going to be interesting to see how things are between these two. But something I just wanted to point out, the gap between 1st and 19th is under a second. The gap from 1st to 18th is under 6/10.
Yeah, and obviously we'll run you through the order. Is Fleddy on pole position with Alex in second place, Camparo in third, Yanni in fourth, Aguado in fifth, Scotty in sixth, King in seventh, and we'll quickly run you through it as well. We got Stretch in eighth, Liam in ninth, Aldo in 10th, Jerome 11th, Daniel in 12th, Lifeboat in 13th, Mitri in 14th. So I just need to pull back the stream 2 seconds, and Mitri 14th, Tactician in 15th, Ian Moore in 16th with Miguel in 17th, Soapbox in 18th, Chris in 19th, and rounding out the grid is Aidan at the back in 20th. So that is the grid laid out for us for race number 1, as everyone will now be picking their strategies for the race. And
Yeah.
around here, I mean, it's a one-stop race around here. You either go in medium hards or hard mediums. There is a possibility of going soft hards or hards to the sauce, but I think that medium and hards are going to be the optimal choice, as 5 red lights are out and we are underway. No formation lap, as we'll quickly get up the tyre compounds and everything for you now, as Camparo getting through. In fact, he goes absolutely wide there through turn 1. A bit chaotic here at the start of the race, as Guado now on the mediums, the lead medium runner. A lot of drivers opting for the white walled hard compound tyres.
We do have 2 people on the soft tyres, and we have another 3 on the mediums. But yeah, the hards are definitely the preferred tyre choice here.
Red Bull gone off. Mitri.
Yeah.
Mitri going off into the distance. That was, we just caught that in the background, and that was absolutely astonishing, as I'm on board with Ian Moore, who's getting very loose and through the middle sector, as everyone's trying to jockey for position, trying to get themselves up the order as quickly as possible, and waiting for things now just to settle down. I think they have settled down, as we got Daniel and Jerome side by side. Daniel losing out there, a little bit of contact, I believe, with either Camparo, who is ghosted for me. I don't know if he's ghosted for you.
No, it's not ghosted for me.
That is very strange indeed, as Daniel down the inside of Drone up into P11. He goes re-overtaken. Chris getting through as well. Drone getting absolutely swamped through the Center SS and the Curva de Sol, and he's down into 15th.
Yeah, I was just about to say, just like look at the positions gained from Chris. He went from 19th to 12th. And the same with Owen Moore, who's gone from 16th to 10th. I think those two, well actually no, it's Daniel and Chris are both running the softs. Camporo's the biggest, well, he's the joint biggest loser of these first opening laps, with Mitri in the pits, changing his front wing I presume, and Camporo dropping down from 3rd to 9th.
Yeah, Camporo he's going to be very disappointed with his opening lap here to the season, as Aguado and Yano going side by side as they cross the line, and Aguado up into P3 and
Oh, no, no,
Fleddy.
no. That was Alex going into the back of him. That was Alex just tapping the rear of Fleddy, and Fleddy has spun round, and now he's down in 16th.
Heartbreak for Fleddy as up ahead the battle for P4. We got King and Scotty battling it out here as they side by side going up towards Ferradrula, but Scotty gonna back out. In fact, no, it was Stretch he was side by side with, so my mistake there.
Kompura and Scotty going side by side as well. Kompura's doing a very good job of having a little recovery. Dives down the inside. That's exactly what I was talking about with that corner. It's so wide, you can afford to make moves like that, but a superior exit for Scotty retains the position for him.
Yeah, Comparo has to settle down for P7. It is throwing me off a little bit that he is ghosted on my screen. I'm not gonna lie. As Ian Moore gets through on Liam for P9, as Daniel under a bit of pressure here as Ian Moore had a little look down the inside. As oh my God, there's a McLaren off in the wall. That's Scotty.
I'm not sure what's happened, but Aguado finds himself in the lead, and that's a VSC there. Maybe Alex had a little bit of a moment going through the centre S's, or maybe the DRS zone, not too sure, but Aguado finds himself in the race lead in a Williams. Not the front three I'd expect to see. Williams, a Haas and an Alfa Romeo, but that's the sweetness of PSGL in F6. Equal performance cars, so you can see all sorts of cars all over the grid.
Yeah, and of course, everyone kind of feeling themselves out at the moment, trying to get used to the way everyone is driving, so everyone is trying to acclimatise to each other, and yeah, sometimes things get a little bit loose on the opening laps, but the virtual safety car has ended. We are under green flag conditions once again. Aguado is leading the race on a set of the medium, so if he can try and break Alex, this will be very good for his strategy, but Alex with DRS is going to be very easy for the Haas to go back through down the inside in towards turn 1. He gets the job done before the braking zone.
Very nice move there from Alex to regain.
Yep, as we got King having a little look on Yanel down the inside. He'll go in towards turn number 4 and job done for King. Up into P3 he goes, as everyone now looking to try and get a jump on someone, as Stretch is looking at the back of Yanel for P4, and he's someone who's definitely been on the move in the opening laps.
Yeah, we've got two separate groups here. We've got P12 in Jerome down to Mitwi down to Soapbox, is a secondary group. Then we've got the main group, which is all the DRS train from P1 Alex all the way down to the Tactician. But Jerome is slowly catching up to Tactician, so it's going to be interesting to see how this unfolds.
Free wide turn 1, Stretch, King, Yanil, and Stretch gets through on the Alfa Romeo, who is going to try and fight back. He does have a Comparo in behind though, looking to get a move done. And you've got the Mercedes as well. It's going to be free wide into turn 4 now. No, Daniel's going to back out of it. Smart there from Daniel's Comparo down the inside of Yanil. So I believe, is that Stretch getting a little bit wide?
No, that was... Yeah, Yanil went a little bit wide through turn 4, but yeah, Stretch opened the door for Kompura, and he just said, thank you very much, I'll take that position, and now he's in P4, so he's right on the back of King now, so it is still the early laps. We're about a sixth of the way through this race, about to be on lap 7, so it's still all to play for here.
Absolutely all to play for Daniel on those soft tyres. Of course, he needs to be making these moves as quick as possible, and that flashing red light on the back of Stretch's car, that's going to fill him with more confidence, because he'll know that Stretch does not have the ERS to combat Daniel now.
Yeah, it's quite worrying to be 7 laps in and you're already this low on ERS. You just gotta not use it for the rest, well, until your pit stop really, and then you regain a little bit more. As you see Owen Moore, and who's that? That's Janil going wide and open the door for Owen Moore. And he says, thank you very much, that's P7 for me. So the Ferrari's running really well in P4 and P7. And just going back to Janil, he's still right on the gearbox of Owen Moore. Of course, both on the hard tyres. Janil has a slight advantage on the ERS front. But yeah, it's very, very close racing, and that's a yellow flag. That is Tactician.
Tactician around the Alfa Romeo. It's not going well for him so far in this race. Down into P17 he goes, and off the back of the pack now. He's going to have a bit of a lonely race. Oh, the back end stepping out. I'm wondering if his tyre's absolutely cooked as
Daniel's seeking his opportunity, trying to go around the outside of PGS stretch. Really getting shoved wide, and that's contact. He did get squeezed to the inside there. But we'll have to leave that up to the stewards, as Daniel's down in P9 now, and well, PGS stretch is now down in 16th, so not great for the both of them, and now we see both Ferraris up in P4 and P5. So it's worked out well for those two.
Yeah, and crucial for Ian Moore as well. He was just outside that 1 second, and he's just managed to creep himself back in. In fact,
he's really struggling. His rear end is just squirming all over the place. Maybe his tyres are just overheating a little bit. But yeah, he's outside the 1 second window now with his teammates, so you'd like to see maybe Kambura just slows down maybe a little bit to give him DRS, but it doesn't seem that's the case. Oh, he does. He gets the DRS there.
Yeah, just inside the DRS activation window there is Ian Moore, and that is absolutely fantastic for him because he can't afford to drop out that DRS for these for the top 4. He needs to stay within it because he'll be under immediate pressure from Jano, Chris, Liam and Daniel trying to make their way back through. In fact, Daniel floating around that 1 second as well to Liam in P8, so Daniel needs to get himself within that 1 second window as well as Fleddy's trying to get his way back up the order. He's currently down in P11. Of course, an incident early on in the race between him and Alex. There
has been another change for the leaders. Guado's in P1. I'm not sure where this happened. Sorry for not catching it, but yeah, Guado's found himself in P1, but he's going to be in a vulnerable position with Marciano right behind him. Alex is going to be looking to try and get a better exit. He's using his overtake. He's still got 90% ERS left, managing his ERS to perfection, and he's going to have no trouble getting past Aguado here to retake the lead here on lap 10.
Yep, Alex threw back into the race lead, and Aguado will have an opportunity to come back at him as Daniel into the pits on lap 10, going to be changing off those soft compound tyres, and doesn't look like Aguado's going to be close enough to have a look down the inside in towards turn number 4, so Alex will maintain the race lead for the time being.
Yeah, it's been quite good as we do have some battling between Aiden and Fleddy. Fleddy went down the inside of turn 4 and he got the move done, and that is Aldo who's right behind him, and Miguel is right behind Aldo as well. So he definitely...
Aldo locking up the rear tyres, losing control of his car there, and Miguel really fantastic to avoid that.
Yeah, he's got to be really careful on his tyres now as Miguel looks for an audacious move around the outside there, but it doesn't happen. And yeah, Aldo's got to be really careful because of his tyre temps now.
Yeah, well, back up to the lead. Aguado is going to be retaking that with DRS, and King is floating around that 1 second, and he needs to make sure that he doesn't drop out of it, because obviously DRS is so powerful around this circuit, and if you drop out of DRS, you're just going to lose time and lose touch with everyone hand over fist.
Yeah, definitely. As yeah, Alex is just starting to use his ERS a little bit more now. He's down to 75%, whereas Aguado is
Oh,
on
free
about
wide.
40. Yeah, those
Free
three
wide
wide.
Aldo, Soapbox and Miguel as Aldo gets up in the P12, Soapbox up in the P13, Miguel down into P14, free wide in towards turn number 4. Aldo comes out on top.
Yeah, very good move there from Aldo, and just want to bring your attention to 3 drivers on the grid. Well, Owen Moore has moved up 11 positions, Chris has moved up 12 positions, and Aiden has come from last to be in the top 10. So great driving from those 3. Of course, it is helped by incidents like Scotty and Fleddy, but all 3 of them are driving very well in these opening stages of this race. And we see Soapbox going around the outside, gets a move done. That is yellow flags.
That's Daniel.
Believe that is Daniel on the hard tyres, just not getting him up to working range so far. And yeah, it's going to be a big battle coming up. Aldo's just coming along the inside of Miguel, dives down the inside. Maybe opens the door on the inside for Miguel, and he does. Miguel's getting on the outside now, not the position you want to be. Tries to stick it round, but Aldo, great defending there, and that's Miguel losing the rear end. But he manages to make it stick, so great racing from those 2.
Yeah, fantastic stuff from Aldo and Miguel. The battle for P13. Got battles up and down the grid. It's very difficult to keep up with all. There's Freddy on the back of Aiden. In fact, Aiden goes a little bit wide, and that allows Freddy to come straight through, take that position, and he says, "Thank you very much. I'll take P10 off you."
I'm just on board with Alex. He was getting very close to the back of Aguado, but he decided not to go for the move. Now he's going to be looking to get it into turn 4. Aguado just had a better exit. That's Campora getting a time penalty. Both Ferraris are on time penalties now, so what looked to be a good start is now kind of falling away with those 3-second time penalties.
Yeah, of course, a 3-second time penalty around you can be very crucial, as well as Soapbox battle for P12 getting through on Aldo, so he's moving up once again, and he's up into P12. We got Freddy and Aiden who have closed onto the back of Jerome now, so that's a freeway scrap for P9. Of course, you got Alex on the back of Aguado here for the race lead, so we'll stick on board with this, as it looks like we'll be seeing a change for the race lead going on to lap number 14.
Yeah, Alex is just using his ERS now, sensing or smelling blood, and he's gonna just breeze past, you'd think. And yeah, Aguado's just gonna slot in back behind him, try and get a better exit out of turn 3, well, out of turn 2. He's using his overtake. He's still within 3 temps. I don't think he'll be close enough for... No, he could have. I regularly could have got a move done, but problem with going so much to the inside, you're going to drift out wide on the exit, and that could have been an incident. But clever thinking there, because we've seen both of them switching places non-stop on the pit straight, so he's being very clever, just weighing it out for the pit straight, the DRS. And yeah, it's just a flip-flop battle between these 2 for the race lead at the moment.
Yeah, and let's not forget, we got King there. Obviously, he's on a set of the hard compound tyres as well. Same with Alex. Aguado on a set of the medium, so he'll be coming in a little bit earlier than these 2. King doing a good job. He's sticking with them. Obviously, he's dropped Camparo, and Ian Moore has dropped away from Camparo as well. He's under pressure from Yanel for P5. The top 3 in a world of their own right now, as Aguado gets close, but doesn't want to risk going for a move in towards turn number 1. Now through Curva del Sol, as we come out with DRS on the rundown in towards turn number 4. Will we see Aguado go for the race lead here? No, once again he's going to stick in behind, and this could be a prudent strategy as he saves his battery up.
Yeah, he's definitely saving up his battery, and he's definitely backing off when he gets towards the end of the straight. He's lifting off the throttle a little bit, so I think he's just trying to stick behind Alex for as much as he can, and doing that, he's slowing himself down and bringing King back into this.
Yep, King being brought back into that battle for the race lead. Obviously, Fleddy on a recovery drive after his early incident. He's on the back of Jerome and getting very close to the back of that Williams as well. Obviously, Fleddy, the man who put on pole position here in qualifying, but finds himself down in P10 as Liam finds himself moving up the order ahead of Chris, because Chris is into the pit off those soft tyres.
Yeah, it's a great first stint there from Chris, going as long as some of the medium runners here. And yeah, he's going to find himself dropping back all the way, might even be in P16, unless Daniel can get ahead of Chris. It doesn't look like. Yeah, it's going to be very good. And yeah, Aguado's getting very close to the back of Alex now, and he's bringing a little old King with him, so it's going to be very interesting to see how this battle onto the pit straight pans out with the front three being so close to each other.
Yeah, honestly, we could be seeing three wide in towards turn one, but it looks like King just had a little bit of a back end snap and it just drops a little bit of time to Aguado and Alex up ahead. But as it currently stands, Alex still leading the way, Aguado in second, King in third, and nice little DRS train going between the three of them.
Yeah, they're just nicely pulling away from the other three drivers. And that is Janil going down the inside of Owen Moore. So great move there from Janil. But it will be Owen Moore who has DRS now. You see that flashing red light on the back of Janil? That means he's got no ERS, or virtually no ERS left, teetering on that 10%, and that is Fleddy into the pits.
And back up towards the top end, Aguado getting very close to Alex through the middle sector there, but hasn't gone for a move as of yet, and he has saved his battery up very well. He's up to 75% on his battery now, so sticking behind saving the battery has proved to be a very good thing for Aguado, because he is looking very comfortable with his ERS now as he begins to deploy it.
Yeah, both of them are sitting around 70%. He is closer this time around, but I think it might be some of the same situation, lifting off the throttle, just sticking behind. But he's definitely got the speed when he's got DRS to get the move done, but I guess he just doesn't want to give Alex the DRS on the second bite of the cherry, as we say. But yeah, he's just being very, very conservative of the overtake attempts, as that is people starting to pit now. We see Jerome, Stretch and Soapbox all into the pits to change onto the mediums, I presume.
Yep, mediums going on. Obviously, Mitri came into the pits the lap previous and chucked on a set of the hards. Fleddy came into the pits as well and chucked on a set of mediums, and he's up in P14, chasing down Daniel for P13. And see, Daniel's had a nightmare race so far, and so has Fleddy, but Fleddy trying to recover his way up the order. Yano with a 3-second time penalty, and that could be crucial, because obviously with these drivers in behind pitting early, the undercut very powerful around here.
Yeah, definitely is, and the three people ahead of him all having penalties is gonna really open the door for Liam to potentially get a P4 here, because it's very close between, well, what was 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th, as Compura has decided to pit onto a set of hard tyres. Seeing some different strategies here, because obviously he started on the medium, so he's going to have to switch to the hard tyres. That is Fleddy with the fastest lap now, 1:10.3, so he's nicely making his way up through the field.
Yeah, Camparo is going to come out behind Chris, just ahead of Daniel in P12. So Camparo coming out of the pits. He's behind Chris. Chris has made the undercut work for him, and he's now ahead of Camparo on track.
Yeah, so Chris is technically now in a net P4.
Yeah, and that just shows how powerful the undercut is. And Chris closing onto the back of Tactician here. Tactician on 18 lap old hard tyres. Chris on 3 lap old mediums. I know what I'd rather be on, as the race leaders have come into the pits. Alex,
but that's
and
Aguado.
King.
Aguado is still out on the mediums, so he's managed to take the mediums longer than some of the hard runners. Maybe, surely he's not going to try and do a medium soft.
Joe, I was thinking it, but I didn't want to say it, because that would be absolutely incredible if he's able to make that work. But the thing is, he's going to lose so much time now with everyone on these fresh mediums. It's not really going to be ideal.
Yeah,
but
he's at least got to go another, 7-8 laps to try and make it work.
And Chris has actually come out. Chris, with that undercut, he's right behind King. And King somehow has lost 2.5 seconds to Alex. So the pit lane not being too nice to King there.
Yeah, definitely not. And well, to be fair to Aguado, he's only, through the Sector 2 split, he's only about a second slower than his fastest lap. So it's not all terrible for Aguado at the moment.
It's not terrible for Aguado at this stage, but obviously the fresh medium tyres are going to be so much quicker than him. It's going to be very difficult for him to keep a position out on track, and he has to time this to perfection when he comes into the pits, because soft tyres, they won't get to the end from, actually they could get to the end from you, but they'll be very worn. They'll be on their last legs towards the end of this race. But Aguado, a very alternative strategy, and I'm interested to see how it's going to play out for him.
Yeah, he's already lost about half a second to Alex behind, and we're not even through Sector 2 yet. So he's really going to struggle. He's going to get close to a second lost on this lap. I think it's about a second now. He's really struggling on these mediums. So yeah, he's got to pit very soon. But like you were saying, it's possible to get the softs. It's possible, but is it likely? Well, no. It's not very likely to get them to the end, but it's definitely possible.
Yeah, and obviously now everyone has made a pit stop apart from Aguado. Look at the pit stop strategies. Fleddy and Jerome pitting early for their sets of mediums have been able to jump ahead of Yanel and Ian Moore. So big undercuts here going on from Fleddy and Jerome. And of course we saw the undercut from Chris to get ahead of Camparo. But Fleddy now closing in on Camparo for P5. And you got to think, is he got the pace to catch up to Chris for P4?
Well, the hards aren't in their working window at the moment. They've still got, I'd say, for him, another 2 or 3 laps until they get to optimum pace. So if he can keep on catching up to Chris, he can definitely fight for his P4.
Sorry to cut in side by side as Moore and Jerome were going up Ferrajula, but Moore backs out of it. He teased us we were side by side up through Ferrajula, but it didn't come to fruition for him, and Yanel's in behind waiting for an opportunity to pounce.
Yeah, and that's Miguel getting a 3-second time penalty, and yeah, Alex is really starting to catch up to Aguado now as he set a purple Sector 2. Will it be a fastest lap of this race so far? No, it won't. The fastest lap is actually held by Jerome, a 1:09.5, 4 tenths quicker than Alex, as he just got overtaken by Owen Moore down the pit straight. So yeah, both of them really struggling for ERS. Well, most Fleddy, Owen Moore and Jerome are really struggling. There's quite a few drivers struggling for ERS on this grid. But looking at Aguado, he's basically on full battery at the moment.
Well, I mean,
It does
obviously,
look.
full
It does look
battery.
like he's pitting in. He's pitting in this lap. I presume on the bottom of his telemetry is showing light blue over the pit, so that means he's going to be pitting in this lap, and I presume it's going to be for softs. But he's going to find himself down the order. Maybe not. He's not coming in.
Safety car. Safety car light
Oh,
boat is out.
oh!
And Aguado has been thrown a lifeboat here because obviously safety car out.
He's got to get out. He's got to get out ahead of the safety car.
Oh, it's going to be close. In fact, as Aguado just missed out here.
He's got out.
Just about done it.
No, he hasn't.
Has he got to get the position back?
Has he? No, he hasn't. No. No, he hasn't got to give the position back.
Aguado
He's still
there.
under Delta. He's still under Delta.
I can't lie, Aguado there getting a absolute saving grace for his race, because I was going to say, like, when he pits, he was going to come out behind Yano.
Yeah.
I was convinced of it.
But it's only 9 seconds, 9.5 seconds ahead of Alex. So he's still going to come up, well actually everyone's going to be pitting for softs. So he's still going to be in a race lead. You presume everyone's pitting for softs.
We'll have to wait and see. Aguado obviously will be pitting for soft tyres. We've had Fleddy come into the pits, Daniel into the pits, and Mitri. No, Mitri hasn't come into the pits yet, but Soapbox has, and safety car's in this lap. And it's gone green.
Wait, what is green? Wait, what?
That is a very unusual glitch that we've just seen here.
The safety car's still... Wait, what? That's very weird. So what was going to be an excellent strategy choice there for Aguado has now turned into him being about, well, 8 seconds behind Alex.
Yano has lost it as well through the centre S as Ian Moore gets past Comparo. Obviously, what that's done, though, obviously, you mentioned about it kind of ruining the strategy for Aguado here. But what it's done is limited the amount of time that he loses on a full flying lap. That's what that's done. So he's actually a little bit further up the field than he probably would have been without that safety car. But that is very strange to see a safety car come out for one lap and immediately go back into the pits without picking up the race leader.
Yeah, I think maybe because Aguado got past the safety car before it was out on track, maybe that's the reason why. But that's Mitwi, who is retired from the race.
Yeah, he's still going. I'm not entirely sure if he's retired out on track or if he's retired in the pits and his car's come out.
Not 100%, I might be retired in the pits, but yeah, still caution here. And yeah, Aguado's really starting to push. Of course, Chris has 10 lap old mediums compared to Aguado on 1 lap old softs. You'd think that there'd be a pace advantage for Aguado. But the gap to Alex has only fallen down about 2 tenths since he's been on these soft tyres. So although he is catching up to Chris, he hasn't got the overriding pace on Alex and King.
Well, we'll have to wait and see what Aguado can do after he gets through on Chris. He will have DRS here, so that will definitely gain him a couple of tenths down the pit straight as he uses a bit of his DRS. He also has a huge amount of VRS to use as well. DRS has been enabled, and Aguado, I thought he was going to be able to get DRS, but I was very much mistaken, as Chris will be able to get DRS now down in towards turn number 4, which is good for him because he can use Aguado to try and help himself close up to the back of King if possible.
Yeah, and that's Campora getting another 3-second time penalty. He's up to 6 seconds now. And yeah, he's going to be falling well down the order. He's going to be falling behind Fleddy at the moment, so he's going to be completely out the points.
Speaking of someone who got absolutely done over by that safety car was Fleddy, because he came in and put on a set of softs. And remember, he was up in that battle with Ian Moore and Camparo, and obviously he's now down in P12. A lot of traffic in front of him, so he's trying to pick his way through Miguel and stretch it for P10.
Yeah, potentially Aiden as well in P9. Stretch is only about 8-9 tenths behind, but yeah, Stretch is actually really starting to fall away from Aiden now. And yeah, Miguel and Fleddy might both get past Stretch on this lap. As yeah, he doesn't have DRS. That is Fleddy getting past. Will he go for a move? Stretch really defends the inside there. Contact between the two. As Stretch has gone off at the inside, and that is very close to contact. And that is Yano. Yano's retired in the pit lane.
Yano
so, yeah.
in the pits, and obviously retiring from the session. Jerome picking up a 3-second time penalty. He's currently in P7. As it currently stands, Aguado is closing in on King, so he has got the pace to close in on King. The question is, can he catch up, overtake, and does he have the overall pace to close in on Ascaro up in P1? And I know I've absolutely butchered that, and I do apologise, Alex, as I do struggle with names sometimes, but it is what it is. Aguado closing in on King massively, and see, he could definitely pick up the fastest lap with those soft tyres. In fact, let's have a look at the fastest lap point as it currently stands. 9.5 by Jerome, currently in P7.
Yeah, it was a very good lap there from... It was a very good lap, I might say, from Jerome, because he did it on the mediums. It wasn't even on a set of soft tyres. And looking at the fastest laps, yeah, Daniel's the only person who's close. Well, actually, they've got exactly the same lap time.
Jerome through and up in the P6 against Camparo.
Yeah, Jerome and Daniel have got exactly the same lap time, so I'm not sure how the fastest lap will work. Well, yeah, it'll probably go to Jerome because he's inside the top 10.
Did you say Jerome and Camparo got the same lap time?
No, Jerome and Daniel.
Oh, Jerome and Daniel.
Yeah, they've got exactly the same lap time, but I'm judging by Jerome being inside the top 10, he'd get fastest lap point.
I think it's who sets it first.
Well, it looks like it'll still be Jerome because his is purple at the moment.
Yeah, so as it currently stands, Camparo was just overtaken by Jerome. You got Liam tucked in not too far behind us. Camparo down the inside. A little bit of contact between him and Jerome through turn 1. And Camparo may be able to get a better run through the curve de Sol as he runs down in towards turn 4. Squeezed to the inside by Jerome. This job done, unless Jerome can get that switchback, and he's got the switchback. My God, this is brilliant stuff. As Jerome retakes P6 from Camparo, and Liam's going to be sitting there licking his chops at this.
Yeah, he's starting to fall back a little bit now from Jerome, but Aguado is finding himself all over the back of King, so potential P2, and with about 5 laps left of racing, well, 6 laps of racing left in this race, I think it might be just a bit too big of a gap to try and claw back to Alex. Not sure what Aguado's doing. He randomly downshifted down to 6th.
Yeah, Aguado, it looks like he might be trying to save up a bit of battery and potentially try and go for that fastest lap a little bit later in the race. But yeah, as it currently stands, King losing time hand over fist to Alex in P1.
Yeah, I think Aguado's kind of settling for P2 at the moment because it's just getting too close to the end of the race to make a huge impact on Alex. So Wouldn't be surprised to see Alex as the race winner and Aguado in P2.
Which will be a fantastic way to obviously start off the season for Alex Aguado, and even King, as King still has a chance of finishing a P2 here. Because you never know if Aguado picks up a 3-second time penalty, so you got to be in it to win it. And obviously, we don't know what would happen with Stewart regarding that incident between Alex and Fleddy early on in this race.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Aguado's actually doing, because as he gets about halfway down the straight, he starts lifting off the throttle.
Looking at this battle for P6, Liam and Caparo going side by side as Fleddy and Jerome side by side in behind 2x2 like Noah's Ark, and it is Liam who comes out ahead of
Jerome.
Caparo.
Jerome squeezed him to the inside, pushed him off track, and now Jerome's got the DRS, but Fleddy's still there on the inside, and he gets the move done, has a little bit of a squeeze on the outside, and Liam and Compora are still going at it. Might we see a little dive bomb to the inside? No, we don't. And Fleddy is starting to close up drastically on the back of Liam, and his soft tyres got to be feeling it now, being 8 laps old.
This is crucial for Fleddy. If he has managed to save a bit of life in those tyres, now's the time to use it. He's got to get past Liam and Caparo, because he still has an opportunity, if he has got enough life in those tyres, to maybe get within that 3-second of Leon Moore for P5.
Well, we'll have to gain a second after getting past these two ahead of him. It looks like he may get past Compura, and he does. Compura drifts off wide, and there could be another overtake, because Fleddy's really catching up to Liam. Yeah, Liam defends the... Oh!
Well. Oh my God!
Fleddy, you madman! You madman, Fleddy.
Oh, that was an incredibly opportunistic move from Fleddy. I think Liam... Jerome's hitting in the back,
Jerome! That's the second time this race for Fleddy.
It's just not gone right for him tonight, is it?
No, it's just bad luck after bad luck for Fleddy. Qualifying P1, getting hit by Alex, dropping down, looking for a solid P5 if he could get there, and then gets hit by Jerome. It's just not been Fleddy's night. But he can... Well, there's a massive DRS train behind Liam, so... He's got a 2-second gap to pull to... Well, close to Aldo, so... Might not be points for him, but Jerome is looking down the inside, which becomes the outside, and Compura is really getting a better exit there, and he's just pulling. Neither of them actually got DRS, which is interesting.
Yeah, they were side by side, and they dropped out with a second on Liam, so neither of them picked up the DRS there. But Kapora getting ahead of Jerome here for P7, but obviously you've got Aiden, Miguel and Aldo in the background now, so this has turned into a big old train now for P6.
I just want to bring your attention back up to Aguado. He's got 86% of his ERS now, so he's really built it up. Is he going to be going for a move? No, it looked like he was going to do it, but he just sticks behind. He's really just toying with King at the moment. He's just toying with King right now. Just keep on making him second guess whether he's going for a move or not.
I mean, I take back what I thought about him possibly, going for the fastest lap, because I figured he would have tried to have got a pass there to potentially have a good run for the fastest lap, but Aguado's going to stick there in P3 for the time being, as that battle for P7 between Jerome and Capara, and obviously you got Aiden, Miguel and Aldo in that battle as well. It's getting all heated up here as everyone's getting close with the middle sector.
Will we see some desperate dives? Oh no, Aiden! Aiden has just spun round Compura. Well, at least he's got P8, but that's not how you want to do it. I'm going to go back on board quickly with Aguado, because I think now's the time he's going to get the move done, and he does. He's already side by side, gets past him with ease, and Aguado finds himself in P2.
Yeah, and obviously this will be interesting now to see if Aguado can set the fastest lap. I think his tyres would be a little bit too worn now to possibly get himself that extra point.
Really defensive to the inside, Aguado, but King is nowhere near him. He didn't need to defend there. He's defending thin air by doing that. Aldo gets a 3-second time penalty, and at the moment, it'll be Aiden jumping ahead of Jerome, but yes, really all to play for. Oh, Aldo down the inside of Aiden really gets his elbows out on that move, opens the door for Miguel as well, and Aiden drops down 2 positions.
Yeah, and what I was going to say then is that obviously Fleddy as well, he's only a second off the back of this this train now. 3 drivers in the train have a 3-second time penalty at the minimum, so Fleddy will be able to jump up as well.
P8. Yeah.
As Alex crosses the line. Sorry we wasn't on board with that, Alex, but Alex crosses the line, takes the win. Aguado in P2, King in P3. Chris will be crossing the line for P4 ahead of Eon Moon, but we'll go back to this battle for P7 as it could be some slipstream into the line, some last ditch overtakes, and no, I believe it's not going to be that, but Aiden and Fleddy do jump up with the P7 and P8 respectfully, and Tactician jumps himself up into P11 there, so good going from him as a Stretch in P12, Soapbox P13. Aldo does drop all the way down to P14, Campara down in 15th, and honestly, what a chaotic first race of the season here in F6.
Yeah, definitely. It was filled with chaos and just highs and lows. You gotta feel sorry for Fleddy, just like the amount of incidents he was involved in, with Alex tapping him in the rear, forcing him down to the back. And then Jerome doing the same in the last 6 laps, but to get back into the top 10, it was a very, very good recovery drive there from Fleddy. And yeah, a very exciting race between Alex and Aguado, and then towards the end, Aguado kind of toying with his prey, but eventually on the last lap of the race got the move done, secured himself a P2.
Yeah, but it is that man on the top step. It is Alex who takes victory here for round number 1. Obviously, a bit of controversy in this race as well with that safety car that decided to stay out for 1 lap, not pick up the leaders, and completely throw some potential battles out the window. But Alex takes the victory ahead of Aguado in P2. King will round off the podium in P3. Chris in P4 with Eon Moore in P5. Liam in P6. Aiden P7. P8 for Fleddy. Good recovery drive from him after the 2 incidents which saw him get spun down towards the back. Jerome in P9 with the fastest lap as well, and Miguel rounding out the top 10. Outside the top 10 we got Tactician, Stretch, Soapbox, Aldo, Campara, Daniel, and then our non-finishers were Yanel, Mitri, Lifeboat, and Scotty. So of course that is how everything wraps up here for round number 1. Obviously the grid very close, and I believe next race will be a lot more calm, maybe less chaotic than the next race, but obviously a fantastic opening round, and with the close racing that we saw out on track today, a good sign of things to come.
Oh yeah, definitely. You saw the front 3 of Fleddy, Alex and Aguado just stick together for so long, and then Chris ended up joining the battle, and these incidents do happen when you're in league racing, but as long as the racing is good and mostly clean, then it's a good race. But yeah, we hate to see it, and you just gotta feel sorry for Fleddy.
Yeah, absolutely. But we know Fleddy will come back a lot stronger next week for round number 2. But that is going to be it for tonight, guys. Make sure you like the stream and make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't already. So shout out to the sponsors, GT Omega. And make sure you check out the link in the description, and when you go to the checkout, use code PSGL for 5% off of GT Omega products. But that is going to wrap things up here for tonight. I've been Mike, he has been RDR Quinn, and we will see you next week for round number 2, which I believe has changed. I believe next week we will be at Bahrain. So until then, guys, good night.
See you.